So a couple of days ago, I made a video about Supergirl, making my predictions about the box office and talking about the box office in general for Supergirl. And, talking about how it's stacked against a lot of movies, a lot of big movies, Toy Story, Minions, The Odyssey, Moana, Spider-Man Brand New Day. And now, you know, a couple of days ago, they put on the early tracking for Toy Story 5, and it's not looking good for Supergirl in my opinion, man. I'm gonna show you right now the early tracking for Toy Story 5, which releases 1 week earlier from Supergirl. Okay, so as you can see right here, Toy Story 5 is tracking to earn 155 million to 175 million in its domestic box office opening weekend. This is just domestic, not talking internationally. And this is just for its opening weekend at the box office. And the number could be much higher if the movie's actually really good. And then now they're doing the Taylor Swift stuff marketing. That's they're supposed to have Taylor Swift in the movie, so that that the forecast right now for the box office is gonna go way up. It could be 200 million if Taylor Swift is in the movie, which is likely she is gonna be in the movie. So her fans are gonna go and support this film. So it could be a 200 million opening weekend for Toy Story 5, and then internationally, it could be 400 million. So it could do 600 million globally for its opening weekend, which of course will hurt Supergirl. And then it doesn't help that a week later after Supergirl, it's gonna be the Minions that's gonna do at least 300 million for its opening weekend. And then what do you have after the Minions? Moana, that's gonna do at least 250 million for its opening weekend. And then what do you have a week later? The Odyssey, which is gonna do probably like 300 million. And then you got Spider-Man Brand New Day, which is gonna do at least more than 350 million for its opening weekend. So it's not looking good for Supergirl right now. Um, you know, its early tracking for Supergirl was 47 million to 65 million for its domestic opening, but it could be much lower. And that's you also have to take it into account that we don't know if the movie is good or not, right? So let's say the movie is like good or okay, then it's probably gonna be like 47 to 65, as I just said. But if people say it's a bad movie, then okay, I'm sorry about that. I don't know why my phone froze, but yeah, if people say it's a bad movie, then the box office for its opening weekend could be much lower, which could be under 40 million, which would be the worst case scenario for the DCU and DC in general, and for Warner Brothers. But man, I don't know. And then I'm checking the box office for Mando and Grogu. The Mandalorian and Grogu, and it's not looking good for them either. They just had like a 70% drop for its second week, and it just released last week. So man, it's not looking good for Supergirl right now, in my opinion. But I might be wrong. It might be an amazing movie, and then the word of mouth helps it to cross over 300 million. But I don't even think it could do 200 million if what I say about Toy Story. The Taylor Swift actually happens, which is gonna happen. So that's gonna hurt the box office for Supergirl, because Toy Story 5 could be a $2 billion movie, or 1.6 billion to $2 billion movie, which is gonna be insane, right? And then you got the Minions, guys, gonna do at least 700 million at the box office. And then you got Moana, that's gonna do at least 700 million. And then you got the Odyssey is gonna do 700 million, and then you got Spider-Man Brand Day is gonna do over $1 billion at the box office. It's gonna be taking more money out of Supergirl. So, man, I don't know, man. It's crazy that last year Superman was, saved the DC brand, brought it back, and now a year later, Supergirl is going to flop, most likely going to flop at the box office. But at least you have Clayface later this year, which could also flop. Supergirl flops, right? But even though his low budget horror movie, um, it could still do bad numbers if people refer it as a DCU project, which I think it is. So people might not go support it since Supergirl flops. So if Supergirl flops, but and then you got Man of Tomorrow that comes out a year later, So I don't know if it's gonna affect the box office, or are people gonna show up for that movie also? But who knows, right? But it's crazy. I don't know, man. Do you think Supergirl's gonna do well at the box office? Are you concerned about this? What I'm just saying right now, or you have faith in Supergirl right now, and you're excited for the movie, and hey, whatever happens, happens. But either way, man, I just wanted to make this video and talk about Supergirl, man, because it's the next movie for the DCU, and I talk about Marvel and a lot of movies in general. So yeah, I just wanted to give my opinion on this, and I think that's the end of it. Remember to like, comment, subscribe, and I'm out. Peace. I know that's the end of the video, but I just thought of something else. So if okay, so if Supergirl flops, right? If it does under 200 million or just flops in general, making it at least under 300 million at the worldwide box office, do you think it'll hinder the DCU, or do you think it doesn't matter if Supergirl flops, the DCU will still be successful with Man of Tomorrow and Clayface? And do you think we'll get a sequel to Supergirl, or do you think James Gunn will hold off on that and just have her be in more other projects for other superheroes, and then do her movie maybe in a couple of years? But I don't know, man. Do you think it's a really a big deal for Supergirl to flop, or do you think it doesn't matter really? And it just doesn't matter in general. But either way, remember to like, comment, subscribe, and I'm out. Peace.